Good morning, children. Welcome back to our English class. So, today we are going to learn something new, something different. What are we going to learn is since this is the month of June, we will learn a wonderful poem written by William Wordsworth. In this poem, this poet has actually explained a beautiful night in the month of June since he is based in London. So, come on, be ready and let us learn something new about this poem. Lesson number 5 from your new voice, and that's a poem, and the name of the poem is A Night in June, written by William Wordsworth. Yes, the name of the poem is A Night in June, written by William Wordsworth. So today we will be doing part 1, and in the next session we will be continuing with part 2. Now, as you all know, that before we could go ahead with the reading part of the poem, it's very important for us to know something about the speaker, about the poet. So, yes, what is the name of the poet? It's William Wordsworth, right? Now, students, we will read the poem first. This is how the poem looks like in your new voice book, and this is the speaker, and this is how he looks. He was a British speaker, a British poet named William Wordsworth. Now, to know something more about him, William Wordsworth was born on 7th of April 1770, and he was the first British poet who was keen on exploring his ideas and theories based on nature with relationship with human life. So he was more keen on coming up with some romanticism ideas. Now students, what do you mean by romanticism means coming up with some culture and the combination of art and literature. So to tell you how did he started with his poetry session is his school teacher actually inspired him to write a poetry. And when he wrote his first poetry, his poem was actually been appreciated by his teacher, and that's how he got a motivation to keep on writing further poems. But yes, later on he came to know that he was excellent in his imagination, and he was excellent in coming up with some ideas based on nature in relationship with human life. So today we are going to learn something with regards to the nature. So students, his two famous poems are The Daffodils and The Solitary Reaper. I repeat, his two main poems or the famous poems are The Daffodils and The Solitary Reaper. So whenever you are free, students, you can go to the Google and you can search for these poems. These are definitely wonderful poems, and I'm very sure that you will love his poems as well. Yes, so let us learn something about the central idea of the poem. Now, what was the reason or what is the idea for writing this particular poem? As we know, William Wordsworth was really keen on writing something on nature. So his basic, you can say the theme or the idea for writing this poem is he has written this and explained the beautiful night of summer in London. So as we all know, he was a British writer. So he used to live in London. So he was keen on writing one day. Let us thinking that let us write something about one night in summer in London. But while writing this, he also thought and he came across a question: man's anxiety if there will be no concern with the nature. That means he's asking this question to the people: what will happen if the people stop thinking about the nature, and what will be the consequences? So students, what we will do is we will learn or we will read the poem first, and then one by one I will explain you the meaning and the summary of the points. All right, so let us read the poem first, and then I will explain you the theme. Okay, let us start. The sun has long been set. I repeat, the sun has long been set. The stars are out by twos or threes. The stars are out by twos or threes. The little bird are piping yet. The little bird are piping yet among the bushes and trees. There's a cuckoo and one or two thrushes. There's a cuckoo and one or two thrushes, and a far off wind that rushes, and a far off wind that rushes, and a sound of water that gushes, and a sound of water that gushes, and the cuckoo's sovereign cry, and the cuckoo's sovereign cry fills all the hollow of the sky, fills all the hollow of the sky. Who would go parading? Who would go parading in London and masquerading? Who would go parading in London and masquerading on such a night of June with that beautiful soft half moon? On such a night of June with that beautiful soft half moon, and all these innocent blisses, and all these innocent blisses on such a night as this is, on such a night as this is. So this is what the poem is. It's a very short and sweet poem. Yes, I'm very sure you must have not understood, the you can see the idea or what the writer wants to say, but don't worry, we will explain you everything. So let us go to the next slide. All right, now students, as we know that the writer has written this particular poem, considering that this is the month of June, and in London, this is supposed to be the summer season. And as we all know that during summer, the sun sets quite late, okay? It takes a lot of time to set. Now, he was very much keen on understanding when the sun is taking a lot of time to set, what happens actually when the sun is about to get, the evening is about to get transformed into night. So, during the transition phase from evening to night, how exactly the things changes and what are the environmental changes that takes place in the nature, and how this nature is actually fascinating this poet. Now, as I explained you, the sun has long been set. The sun has long been set. That means it's the month of June and the sun is taking a lot of time to set. The stars are out by twos or threes. That means since the evening is about to go and it is about to get dark in the night, the stars are slowly and steadily coming out. So, the way the people come out of their house, okay, it's the same kind of thing. So that's you can see it's a kind of a personification touch the poet has given to this particular line. So what the poet means to say is the stars have started coming out, two, three, and then slowly and steadily, by the time the night takes place, the entire stars or the galaxy is going to glitter. Now, the little birds are piping yet. The little birds are piping yet. Now, piping here means a singing. He wants to say that the birds have started singing, okay, and they are singing now because they are also aware that the evening is definitely going to get transformed into night very soon. So that's what they are expecting. Now, among the bushes and the trees, so what the writer wants to say is the birds are singing among the bushes and the trees. So when the birds are singing the song, they are actually running through the trees and the bushes. There's a cuckoo and one or two thrushes. There's a cuckoo and one or two thrushes. Now, Cuckoos and thrushes, these are a type of birds. As we all know, cuckoo is a type of bird, and thrush is also a brown bird with spots on in the front side of the bird. So you can also check this particular picture if you want. So yes, these are the birds which are actually, running here and there. So they are also singing and they are actually happy. The weather or the climate is completely good because the sun is about to set, and the night is about to be starting. And a far off winds that rushes and a sound of water that gushes. Now, the poet also wants to say that from far place, winds are actually, rushing like anything. That means soothing wind or soothing air is actually coming towards him. And he could also listen to the sound of water that is gushing, that gushes. That means the sound of water, that means the water is flooding, okay? And rushing means something is rushing towards you, some movement is happening towards you. So yes, I will repeat this particular line again. The sun has long been set, that means the sun is about to set, and this is the summer season. So yes, sun takes a lot of time to set. The stars are out by twos or threes. That means all the stars have not come out yet. But yes, only two, three stars have started coming out. And yes, by the time the evening gets transformed into night, many stars will come out, right? The little birds are piping here. That means the birds are singing among the bushes and the trees. The poet, also saw cuckoos and thrushes. So these are the birds which are also running here and there and they are piping. Piping means they are singing. And he could also feel the wind coming from far off that is rushing towards him. And he could also listen to the sound of water that is gushing. Water is gushing, that means it is flowing or the flood. You can visualize that the water is actually streaming down, okay? The poet also describes this line, and the cuckoo's sovereign cry fills all the hollow of the sky. That means cuckoo is actually, crying in a very sovereign manner. Sovereign manner, that means at a very high scale. So he could hear the cry of cuckoo in such a way that he feels that everything is silent, in the sky. There is a lot of hollowness in the sky. Hollowness means emptiness in the space, you can say. So he's actually a little bit scared. He could actually listen to the cuckoo's cry, and he could feel that something it's very silent everywhere. There's no activity of the people, there's no one taking care of anyone. But yes, this evening is actually getting transformed into late night. While doing this, he also gets distracted from the nature to the city life, and he says, who would go parading in London and masquerading? Now, what exactly the writer means over here is he's getting his attention diverted to the city, thinking that he's asking the question to himself, in future, the way the night is taking place right now in a very beautiful manner, is the same night going to take place later on in future as well? And are the people going to be concerned about the surrounding the way it is being taken care now? So that means who would go parading and in London and masquerading? So parading is basically assembling together and showing a kind of a prideness. And also masquerading means wearing a false mask. Generally in London people do wear mask and they dance. So wearing a mask, so over here the poet wants to say wearing a false mask, that means just acting and just saying in a false way that yes, I do care for the nature, but in reality are these people really concerned about the nature? This is what the question is coming in his mind. So he is showing his anxiety, he's showing his lot of worries. he is really concerned if nights in the future will be the same the way it is right now. And that is the reason he is explaining who would go parading in London and masquerading. On such a night of June, with that beautiful soft half moon. On such a night of June, with that beautiful soft half moon. So he also wants to specify, since he is able to listen to the cuckoo's cry, he is able to divert his attention from the nature to the city. He feels that something is missing. No activities are going on, none of the people is coming here, so he is feeling that something is empty over here, and he is worried about the future during the beautiful soft half moon. So here the poet wants to say that the situation of environment that is silent night, where no one is actually showing any kind of activities, there is no human activities, there's no sound, so that the sound of the birds, he could listen to the only the sound of the birds, or the sound of the wind and the water that is gushing. So there is no human activities going on over there. Now, in the next line, he also wants to explain, and all of these innocent blisses on such a night as this is. That means the poet wants to say that the things around him are like some special beauty, and this is actually giving him a very special, you can say, pleasure, and he's really happy with this beautiful moment. But poet also says to the reader that imagine if you could listen only to the sound of birds, or sound of the wind and the cuckoo sovereign, and also the sound of the water in the quiet night time, then he is also concerned what will happen in the future if there is no other activity, or if there is no other sound of human based activity. So he is actually asking this question to all the people that don't show any fake activity or any fake concern towards the nature. He also means to say that please take care of the nature the way you are taking right now. In future also you need to be taking care of the future in the same manner, so that the entire environment will be completely happy and pleasureful, and we all will get an opportunity to actually watch this blissful moment in our life. So, yes, student, this is what the entire poem is all about. I'm very sure you must have understood this poem. In the next session, we will be continuing with, the summary of the poem once again. I will also tell you few of the value-added points of the poem, and we will do some reference to the contest, and I will explain you something about the rhyming schemes and figures of speech as well. So, yes, see you very soon. Okay, take care. Bye bye. So, dear students, just a gentle reminder that once we are done with this video, we are going to give you assignments which is supposed to be filled by you online on immediate basis, and let the teachers also judge you based on your assignment. So without fail, you have to fill this assignment and do this assignment and submit it online. So once we are done with this session, yes, we will meet you soon with our next session. So thank you very much and take care of yourself. Bye bye.